Hello people, and today we're going to be playing the Super 60-in-1. Although you wouldn't be able to guess that from the artwork, because it doesn't actually say what it is, other than it's from the made-up Super Game Color, which is obviously just Game Boy Color. And yes, you have pictures from some random games like Harry Potter and Digimon and other stuff. But anyway, let's move on to the review itself, because I can't be bothered to go over this artwork because it looks so bad. So yes, we switch on the TV. Well, I've already switched on the TV. It was switched on the Super Nintendo, rather. And it should work. Yep, it works. Now it's worth pointing out that I'm going to have to switch the console on and off, because for some odd reason, if you reset this thing when it's on the Super Nintendo, it just sort of goes back to the main menu for some crazy reason. I don't understand why this is, because with my other multi-carts it doesn't do that. Now, I can't cover Harry Potter because it requires the Game Boy Color to play, but it is basically Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone on the Game Boy Color, which was kind of like an official game, in case you're wondering. So, we're going to have to start off with the ungodly abomination, that is Digimon 3 Crystal, or Crystal, as you can probably guess. The reason it's ungodly abomination is because it's by Young, and Young are a company that are infamous for producing some of the worst games ever made. Seriously, these games that, yes, for one thing, they use the Comic Sans font, and whoever uses the Comic Sans font should be hung, which puts Young on the hit list for me. Well, that and the fact that Young's games suck. And yes, Digimon 3 Crystal. Second thing you'll notice is that the music sucks. Apart from this song, for some reason, it's not that bad, but gameplay wise, well, you play as, I think it's Agumon, I can't remember. Oh no, that's what my mate said it was, and he knows, well, I think he remembers Digimon better than I do. Now yes, as you might notice, yeah, you tend to find that with Young's games, they tend to be impossible to not suck at. The reason being is that the controls suck arse. So like, if you hold down the run button for more than 2 seconds, then when you try to stop, then Agumon, whoever he is, will take like 2 more steps than he's supposed to. And a lot of the time this will leave you falling down a chasm like I did earlier. Oh yes, and some enemies can randomly take 2 or 3 hits when they're only supposed to, yeah. So yeah, they can take as many hits as they want, and it just seems to be completely random as far as I can tell. Now, to actually win in this game, you have to collect random items that fill up your MP bar. Why they fill up your MP bar, I'm not really sure. But they do, and for whatever reason you have to fill it up in order to complete the level. Not really sure why they called it an MP bar when it has no real significance on the gameplay, but whatever. Not like it matters, because the game sucks anyway. It's also worth pointing out that the game is in colour when you play it on a Game Boy Color, but I can't really show that here without the video being practically unwatchable. Yeah, that's the problem with the Super Game Boy, you can't actually display the games in colour. And game number 3, or suppose the second one I'm going to cover, is Digimon Pocket. And well, if you can't guess what this is, yep, it's more Young awesomeness, reusing the same screenshots from that other one. What's funny is that the music actually sounds worse when played through the Super Game Boy for some crazy reason. I haven't got a clue why that is, and somehow I doubt Jellyfishmon actually exists, because it just sounds ridiculous. Yes, there were graphics in these Digimon Pirates that Young did. The graphics are actually not that bad. They look alright. I mean, a lot of Young's games suffer from poor graphics because the colouring is terrible. Not so for the Digimon games. These ones are alright. For some crazy reason, load game is selected automatically for some odd reason. I don't understand why that is. And yay, Comic Sans making a return. And yes, graphics taken straight out of Bonk's Adventure for the Game Boy, which incidentally I have on another multi-cart that 25-in-1 I reviewed. Yeah, and as you may notice, again, the music is a complete mess, even more so than last time. and you play as a different Digimon this time around. The controls are actually different this time around, because in the other game you press the A button to jump. Here you have to press the B button for some crazy reason. And I kind of got lucky there. Okay, pick up a phone for some reason. I know there were phones in the anime, I do remember that much, but it seemed kind of random. And actually, isn't that enemy stolen from Mega Man? I'm sure it was. Because, yeah, cause they actually resorted to stealing enemies from friggin' Mega Man, which last time I checked had absolutely nothing to do with Digimon. Yeah, this time you don't actually have to collect MP to win. Here you just sort of have to get to the end of the level, I think. You do have some sort of item meters at the bottom. Oh, and it's worth pointing out that there I didn't actually hold down the right button. I wasn't even touching the D-pad at all there, and I still fell to my death because the controls suck. Now, the really sad thing is that the Digimon Pirates that Yongon did are probably the best ones that they did, believe it or not. Trust me, the other games are actually a lot worse than this, which pretty much goes to show how bad those games are. But yeah, I think we've seen enough of these games, so let's move on to something better. And the next game we're going to take a look at is not Buzz Lightyear, because again it requires a Game Boy Color to play it. It doesn't actually work on a Super Game Boy. So Pikachu Land, or if you prefer, Super Pika Land, and as you can probably tell, yep, it's Super Mario Land with Pikachu in it for some reason. Well, it's been those stupid Digimon Pirates that I just played. And yeah, well, I'm sure you all know what Super Mario Land is. Unlike what CGR and Toe said, the misguided twits, this game actually is pretty awesome, despite what certain people out there say. And I already mentioned them, but I don't care. Obviously the graphics in this version are different, other than that it seems to be the same game as far as I could tell. See, you have to kill Clefairies or something, along with these various smaller enemies. And yes, you've even got the Can-Can from the original. Actually, why did they have the Can-Can in the original game anyway? I never understood that. Yeah. So, finish the level, shall we? Yeah, I'm sure you'll know what Super Mario Land is, and I'm sure you'll know who Pikachu is, so I don't think I need to speak about this game anymore. Switching the console back on. Go take a look at game number 6, which is what the menu calls Mario Land 4. But this is actually Super Mario 4. Now what's kind of funny about this one is it actually says that it's made by Nintendo, but trust me, it isn't. It's actually a pirate game, once again. Well, the last game wasn't actually a pirate, it was just some homebrew hack, but this one is a pirate game. That I believe it's a hack of, I forget what it was, I think it was Crane Shin-Chan 4 or something. It was based off a Crane Shin-Chan game, I know that much, but I never played it. Now, from what I've heard, that game was a fair bit easier than this one, but I do like this game, even if the stages are designed somewhat annoyingly. Basically, you play as Mario and you can throw mushrooms, and like, again, a lot better than those Digimon Pirates I was playing just. Yep, you sort of do that, and I can't play for to save my life today. But yeah, I'm sure a fair few of you have seen that one already on some other video, or probably played it yourself. Game number 7 is Bubble Bobble, and as you could probably guess on the title, well, it's Bubble Bobble. Yes, same as it was off the 25 one, really. I wish I had the Famicom version of this, but I can't find it. I cannot find it, and I could be wrong, but I don't think it actually got released on the Famicom. Well, not legally, at least, because it was like one of those. I think it might have been one of those Famicom Disk System games. Not entirely sure though. I'm sure a lot of you out there know what Bubble Bobble is already, but I'll play it quickly because it is an awesome game. Yes, Bubble Bobble, awesome game, no matter what format you play it in, unless it's a pirated version, because I heard there was like some pirated versions for the MSX made by, I think it was Zamina, who were like a Korean company, and I heard that version was kind of sucky, but I've never played it, so I can't judge. But yes, I'm sure you'll know what Bubble Bobble is, so no need to discuss this game anymore. And now we move on to game number 8. Yep, still recording. Roadster 98. And this one is by Tidus, so you know this one's going to be sucky. Yeah, personally I was never a fan of Tidus. A lot of their games have a tendency to suck. Now this one I believe is a Game Boy Color game, although I might be wrong. It has more colours on the Game Boy Color, I know that much. I mean, you can tell all the cars apart. I mean, they're not all the same colour when you're playing it on the Game Boy Color. But, not like it matters, because the game's pretty mediocre anyway. It's basically, it's kind of like a poor man's Micro Machines, to put it simply. It's not the worst racing game I've ever played. I mean, it's better than Porsche Challenge on the PS1. But, yeah. If I wanted to play this, I'll just play Micro Machines on the Game Gear. Even if that does require 6 batteries to play. Or an AC adapter for that matter. But yes, I won, so I'm sure you all know how that works. So let's move on to game number 9, which is Loops. And Loops, actually, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure how to play this one. It's some sort of puzzle game as far as I can tell. There was also a NES version, but yeah, I didn't really play that one much. But yeah, this game is just confusing to me. It's just weird. It's alright, but still, it's kind of weird. Basically, you have these sort of pieces and you have to put them down. And yeah, I have a hard time trying to play this one actually. Well, like I said, not a bad game, it's just difficult to actually figure out how to play. I mean, as far as I can tell, it's kind of like Pipe Mania, I guess, except more confusing. As far as I can tell, at least. And yes, you sort of take the pieces. But I'm not entirely sure how you're supposed to win. It's like, oh yeah, and I keep forgetting you have to press the B button to place the blocks down, and the A button just rotates them. And yeah, I'm sure you can see where this game's going, I suppose. Again, I have a hard time seeing what's going. God, this game is actually really difficult, so I can't get anywhere in it. Okay, I'm kind of screwed at this point. But yeah, if someone could tell me how to play this game, I would like to know. Yeah, well, I've obviously lost, haven't I? So let's just move on to game number 10, which is Tetris. Well, if I need to introduce this one to you, you obviously haven't played many video games, because Tetris is, it's probably the most common game on the Game Boy, and also one of the most revered because it is awesome. Now, like I said, I don't think I really need to introduce this one to you because everyone's played it already in some form or another. Personally, I prefer the, well, I would say it's the Tengen version, but you can't bring that around with you unless you sort of get an emulator for it for your console. But yes, Tetris, undisputed classic, and I like it. I was playing this a couple of days ago. I nearly got 100,000 points, but not quite. It wasn't to be, sadly. And yes, I don't think I really need to go over this game anymore with you, so let's move on to the next game. Okay, so now we'll move on to the second page, which consists of like 10 more games or something. Yes, Hyperload Runner, which is obviously Hyperload Runner. Now, like I said in my last review, this is basically Load Runner, except more difficult. So the level designs are different, like. Now, I was never very good at Load Runner, I have to admit, but safe to say this is more difficult than the original version. And I died. I'm sure a lot of you know how to play Load Runner, so I don't really think I need to go over that with you, if I can talk. That's okay anyway. So Egyptian Pickaxe is basically Super Pickalines again, so I'm not even gonna bother. Alleyway is just bad. like I said in my last two reviews on Game Boy Multicarts, this game is just poor. It's basically Arkanoid. It's basically Arkanoid for people who can't afford Arkanoid, I suppose. It's like Nintendo tried to make this sort of compensation or something. But yeah, if I wanted to play a game with Mario in it, I'd rather play that Mario Land 4 game. At least that one was decent, even if it is a pirate. It's not the worst Arkanoid clone I've ever played, but that's not really saying much. I mean, in fact, the only one I can think of that's actually worse is Diamond, and even that had power-ups. This is nothing. Well, other than bonus stages and the odd Super Mario reference. But other than that, there's not much to get excited over with this one. So let's move on to game number 14, which will no doubt be a better game. Well, actually, was it game 13? I'm not really sure, because you can't really count Egyptian Peacock, or Pikachu, whatever. Yeah, game number 14 is Puzzle Road. I believe it's Puzzle Road anyway, as far as I can tell. Now this one is a puzzle game, as you could probably guess from the title. That's all in Japanese, so I can't really tell. But yeah, it is a puzzle game, honest. Yes, I'm pressing the A button. But yeah, it's kind of like, this reminds me of a game off the, I think it was off the Dream Gear or something. How do you flip the tile? That's how you flip the tile. Yeah, it's basically, you put the pieces in the block, and it really is it. That really is the entire game, essentially. Well, I think I might try the second level just to be sure, because I haven't really bothered with this one much, I have to admit. So, shoot. I'm pretty sure it's a password, but whatever. Shoot. Yes, press the A button. And yeah, it is more the same really, except the stage is bigger. How do I win? No, apparently I can't win because I'm an idiot. Game number 15. Game number 15 is Amida, which is another puzzle game, as you will see, and a somewhat better one, in my opinion, by Coconuts. I like the music in this one, it's awesome. You can get the option of several different tracks. I'm just going to go with the first one because I feel like it. Speed 8 please, password, I don't care. And this one, where you basically have this platform thing to be around, it kind of reminds me of one of the mini games out of Super Mario 64 DS. It's kind of like that, except it's like, except you don't draw lines with a stylus, you just move a platform around, which is somewhat more difficult in my opinion. But yeah, that's basically how you play the game. You move a platform around and you get the thing, the curb you look like, to walk across it. And you do more of the same really. I don't think I really have to move this one, do I? Yeah, I'll just leave it there and I'll win. It's simple enough really. It does get harder as you go on, as you could probably imagine. Yay, I make Kirby happy. Well, okay, I'm not entirely sure what it's supposed to be. I'll just call it Kirby because that's what it looks like. And it's going down that one. Yeah, put the platform there. And I'm sure you'll know how to play that game by now because it's very simple. But the music is good, so we can forgive it. Game number 16 is Palamedes, and this one, I don't know about this one. It's kind of like Tetris, except it's a lot more difficult in my opinion. You basically have the dice or something. But I'm not entirely sure how you're meant to play this one, to be honest. It just seems a bit confusing to me. Let's see. Let's see. Can you get rid of all the dice? See, I'm not entirely sure like what the 6 dice at the bottom are supposed to represent. And I died. As you read out, I kind of suck at this game, so moving on. Mainly because I'm not entirely sure how to play it, but yeah, not exactly the best person to review that game. Paradise. This one It has nothing to do with that place out of the silver CDI games, you know, Corridor. This one is, well, it's pretty easy, as you will see, even on the hard difficulty. Basically, you take control of a die and you have to roll it to the end of the level. I'll make your face the prettiest in Dice, or else you will die. Okay, that was lame. But yeah, it is very simple. Basically, you have to match up the one. In fact, Noise Code made a very similar game to this, except it was played from like an isometric perspective, which to me kind of made it look like Devil Dice on the PlayStation, which instantly is a much better game, in my opinion. I always look Devil Dice. Okay, I want to get the one. Let me match up the one. There we go. But yeah, very simple. Basically, get in the minute and you win. Well, actually, the rules depend on what difficulty you're playing on. The hard difficulty, you have to get in the minute. On the others, I don't think you do. Dr. Mario. Oh, sorry, not Dr. Mario. I skipped one by accident. I don't know what planet I'm on today. Yeah. Dragon Slayer. Now, this one, as the title might suggest, is sort of like an RPG by Nihon Falcon. Or Nihon Falcon, or whatever. Yes. Phase 1 start. Now this one I have a hard time playing, mainly because I was never very good at RPGs, admittedly, as you will see. Now I don't go into the menu. And this game, you basically play the role of this knight, and you go around collecting gold and whatever. As you would notice, the soundtrack's pretty good. Although, you move around very slowly. Basically, if you have the patience to play this game, it is actually pretty good. That's provided you have the patience to play it. And, yes, collect all the coins so I can sort of keep them for later or something. I don't know. And the cross can protect you from evil, because the game is sacrilegious like that. Yeah, you've got extra health. Yeah, apparently coins give you health in this game. Seems kind of odd. And I can't open the treasure chest because I don't know how. Carried. Yeah, no, they can't get to me because I'm awesome like that. I'm not going to bother collecting the coins because I've got more important things to worry about. Yeah, if I go to the WP, which is basically a teleporter, and if I get the sword, there I can pwn some horse. I think. Can't bring up my menu. Oh, I'll say you can pause the game. And yes, I like how when you pause the game, you sort of go into a tent or something. Just out of randomness. Ah, no, it's spiders. Let's go somewhere else. Oh, that's strange. I went to teleport again, took me here for some reason. Well, I'm kind of screwed now. And yeah, they can walk over the treasure chests, as you have noticed. Well, I'm screwed at this point, I think. If I can go for the teleporter again, that'd be nice. Fight this bloke and get killed, I think, because I'm not very good at this game. Basically mash the A button to completion. Should win the second. Come on, knock out the monster. Knock him out already. Yes, he's dead. Yep, I'm sure you sort of know how to play this game. It's kind of difficult though, because there's so many bloody enemies. Yeah, now we go into Dr. Mario. And I'm sure you'll know how to play Dr. Mario because so many people have played it. And yes, the Game Boy version, of course. Like I said, I'm sure you've all played it in some form or another. I have this on a Game Boy multi-cart. And Dr. Mario was being a bitch because he didn't want to give me the pieces I need. As in the sort of different ones. No, stop giving me these pieces, I don't want them. Well, I won. clear. I am clear. Don't worry. Let's move on to game 20, because I'm sure we all know what that game is. And game number 20 is World Bowling, which was also game number 20 off that 13-1 I reviewed. Yes. Anyway, start the game, please. Yes, I do want to play as the bloke. Ballpen 12, I suppose. And yes, exercise, just some sort of opening frame thingy where you can sort of practice the game. And yes, you knock over the pins. Basically, it's a bowling game, as you have probably noticed. And I'm sure you could guess that from the title, really. Yep, I'm sure you'll know how to play bowling. If you don't, then you seriously need help. So I knock the pins down and I get 7. Don't think I need to inform you about that one, so moving on. Okay, now we move on to the third page, and game number 21 is Q-Billion, I think. Yes, Q-Billion. Now this one, I have to be perfectly honest with you, I haven't got a clue how to play this game. Basically, you play as this mouse, and I think I'll forget how to play it now. You sort of press the B button or something, and then something eventually happens, I think. Yeah, you do that. I don't get it. It really makes no sense to me. But, what do I do now? Seriously, what do I do now? I think you do this, but I'm not entirely sure. No, you don't. No, you don't. Okay. Yeah, this game really is... I can't figure out how to play it though. It'd probably be alright if I knew how to play it, but I haven't got a clue. It makes no sense, but yeah, I can press the switch. With my foot no less, because I'm awesome. Game number 22 is Space Invaders, and if you don't know what this game is, you seriously need help. Yep, Space Invaders, just like it was in the arcade, except obviously you can play it on the go. And it froze. This is not like it matters, I'm sure you'll know how to play Space Invaders. See, will it switch on again? No, Game Boy decided to be a bitch. Yeah, probably good time for it to crap out, because after all, not like it's important, you know, Space Invaders. See, the major problem with this card is it's almost impossible to get working on a Super Game Boy. Like, 9 times out of 10 it just simply doesn't start up because the stupid Nintendo logo doesn't want to work. Now it does. Yeah, I'm sure you know what Space Invaders is, so I'm not going to bother going over that again. Game 23 is Flipple, and well, it's just like it was on the Famicom, really. Very good game. Look, as you can probably guess, I have the Famicom version, and I suck at this game, as you might have noticed. And yeah, I'm just going to deliberately fail at this point because I feel like it. Yay! Quickest game over ever. After all those ones Ashton's mentioned. And yeah, I was deliberately sucking there, in case you're wondering. Wink wink. Well, not wink, probably the wrong expression there, but whatever. Game number 24 is Pitman. Now this one I like because it's like a puzzle game crossed with a beat 'em up, sort of, as you will see in a second. Round 1. See, because in this game you can beat up zombies or something, and you have to beat all of them up to complete the level, and that's why I like this game, because it's awesome like that. So yes, you pick your demon thing, you sort of play a puzzle, and you punch this bloke in the face and he sort of flies out of the pit. Yeah, I'm sure you'll know how this game works. It's very simple in nature, much like most of these games actually. But yeah, game number 25 is Tennis, and tennis is, well, it's tennis. I'm sure you could guess that already. And this version of tennis I am not very good at, as you will see in a bit. A bit better than I was last time, but that's not really saying much. Sound effects takes straight out of Sonic the Hedgehog for the Game Gear. Hey, I got a point. This is pros. And yes. Oh, of course, you can choose your type of shot, like in Famicom Tennis. Screw it. Can't do it now. Okay. Here's a game I suck at more, though, as you will see in a bit. It is... Actually, I'm not entirely sure what this game is called, but it's apparently called Snake. I don't know what it's called because it's in Japanese on the title screen. Made by Naxat Soft, who are the same people who made Wrecker for the Famicom, a game which I wish I had, but sadly don't. We are the Alpha Force. Now, this game is kind of like Snake on off your old phone, except it's more confusing. First off, you have to play against a computer opponent, just like you don't in the mobile phone games, which is kind of weird. You can also get power-ups where you can sort of throw missiles at the enemy or something. K6. And yeah, basically the goal is to trap the opponent so you can win. Like that. See, he is trapped and now he hasn't got a chance in hell of winning. So he suffocates to death. And yeah, I win because I'm awesome. But don't worry, because there are more wars to come. Yep, it's more the same really, as you can probably imagine. It's a good game, but it's well, it's kind of like Snake, except a little bit different. Game 27 is Flappy Special, and as you might be able to guess on the title, this is a lot like Flappy off the Famicom. It's a little bit different though, because the music is considerably better. Yes, I do want to start stage 1. A bit strange they asked you that, but whatever. Yeah, as you might notice, music is different in this version for some reason. Movement is a bit choppier. And I'm pretty sure you can squash the enemies like in the Famicom version, but I'm not entirely sure how to do it. Actually, I might try to do it in this video. Of course, obviously the sprites are scaled down quite a bit in this particular incarnation. I'll push this bugger in the way, and so I can crush him with a boulder, just like the Famicom version. Mind you, I can usually do it on the Famicom version without having to make him fall asleep. And there we go. That's how you win it. That's how you win at Flappy Special, by killing the opponent. And yes, he sort of moved in here. And yes, actually I wonder, is it possible to actually fill all those holes? Because I can never figure out how to do it. Anyway, yes, should be able to finish this level soon enough. This version takes a bit more time to complete than the Famicom version. From what I've noticed, movement is a bit slower. It's kind of annoying when you have a time limit, namely battery life, to compete against. And yes, I win, because I'm awesome. What's funny is that this is actually the second stage from the Famicom version. That for some odd reason they skipped the first level, I think. Yeah, start stage. Yeah, they sort of just, I think they mixed up the levels or something, I'm not entirely sure. But game number 28, as you will see in a bit, is Tasmania Story, which sadly has nothing to do with the Tasmanian Devil. No, it's actually that really awful game that I reviewed on the 30-in-1, and I do mean awful. I'm not exactly a fan of this game, as you might have noticed. I'd say it's kind of like a cross between Mappy and an Action 52 game, I suppose, if anything. That's how I would describe it. It's basically really confusing. Oh yes, and you can also drop bombs and get killed in about 5 seconds. Not a master class at this game, as you might notice, but then again, I don't want to be either, so I don't really care. Yep, you basically collect all the cacti, and why you would want to collect cacti I'll never know. That's why it's strange they're collecting friggin' collection stamps or whatever. So I thought those people were weird. This guy makes them look normal. Hey, I actually won. This is a prize. And yes. And okay, now I have to collect more flowers or something. Yeah, it's... Oh, apparently you can kill the enemies with jumping on them. I wasn't aware of that, I have to admit. Never really played this game much because I'm not a fan of it, but... Yeah, I suppose it's a little better than I thought it was the first time around, but it's still not great by any means. What's funny is that the hit detection kind of sucks in this game, because all the time you'll get hit by the enemy, and yet you won't actually get killed. Which is kind of weird. Okay, I think I won. I'm not totally sure though. Did it? Yeah, I did win. Yeah. It's not the worst game I've ever played, and just better than I said it was in that other review. But let's move on to game 29, which is Trump Boy, which, like I said in that review, is what's it called? Super Big 2, I think it was, or Big 2. Yep, they gave me the entertainer. Pick something in Japanese which I can't read. And yeah, basically you have to get rid of all your cards, essentially. And I have to pass because the computers are being an absolute bitch. Great. Yes, pick the king, might as well. Yes, the game's not even letting me go. Great. And we have to pick the ace, aren't I? And we have to skip go. 5, please. Yeah, I'm not very good at this game, and it's not even giving me a chance to win this time around because the computers are actually bitches. Anyway, game number 30 is Hong Kong, and this is another game I have a hard time understanding because it just makes no sense. I suppose it's kind of like Mahjong Solitaire, but I'm not entirely sure. You'll see in a bit. Yes, again, another one of these weird Japanese games. And not entirely sure how you win. Basically, you pick a piece, and it just seems to be completely random as to... As far as I can tell, it seems to be completely random as to what pieces you can pick and which ones you can't. I think you have to match up to the character on the top left or something. But actually trying to tell which characters are which is a chore in itself. That I don't actually play in the game. So what pieces are which? Oh, so you basically get rid of the tiles. Okay, apparently it beeps when I picked that one for some reason. Oh no, so I lost because I left that one stranded on its own. So apparently you can't leave the pieces stranded or something, otherwise you'd lose. That one's just weird.